The way that I go from this to this needs to actually be studied. So it's a good thing that we're going into my full glam routine today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So let's get into my full makeup routine. Obviously first I go in with my brows. Do you know the little like nib that comes in the top of the brows? I just bite that out, and that way you can actually squeeze the brow product out like it's toothpaste, and you can get so much more product on your spoolie. I do take quite a lot of product, and everyone else like brushes their brows the other way. I just don't do that. If your brow gel is good enough, you should just be able to do one coat over in the one direction. I go like this with the applicator, like rolling the bristles up through my brow hairs. That way any of the more stubborn hairs are really pointed in the direction that you want them to go in. I keep going over until they're nice and smooth and all going in the same direction. You can already see how much that lifts and snatches your face. I don't like them to be like soap brows where people do them vertical. I literally just follow the natural direction of my brow hairs, and then on the outer little bit by here I just tail them off upwards to my temple. I find that tailing them off to the temple is really what gives you that lift. Then I take the lid and I just press that over my eyebrows just to really plant them down to the skin. It makes them look a little bit more seamless and makes them last all day long. The first and most important step is obviously our skin prep, and I never ever show you my skin prep on other platforms. You just all find it so boring. So step one, you'll probably notice how my skin is now really shiny and looks really glowy. That's because I've just used the Paulas Choice exfoliator. It takes off all of those dead skin cells. If your makeup looks really crusty and dusty and you're not using an exfoliator, then that's why. Wash your hands, you dirty peep. Step number two, we have toner. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Glow Toner. I just take about that much. Looks a bit wrong there. I go in my T-zone firstly, over my chin, just anywhere where like I can see pores on my face. This is what's really going to shut those pores up and make your skin look really nice and smooth. Now I like to go in with a serum. This is the Byoma Glow Serum. This is literally glass skin in a bottle, and it's actually not that expensive. I am running out already. I'm going to struggle to get a few pumps out for this. I actually think that this has like this snail slime in it. Don't sleep on it because it's so good. When I tell you it's glass skin in a bottle, I mean it is glass skin in a bottle. And I do also clean my eyebrows up with my skincare. Take my finger and run down any of the excess product that would be above my eyebrows. Otherwise you get like this horrible film when you put your foundation on where like your foundation just doesn't stick. Not cute, girl. The next serum, this is the Clinique Moisture one. It reminds me of the Caudalie Vina Perfect Serum. I love to use a moisturising serum before a moisturiser because I feel like this serum version is just really penetrating into your skin deeper, keeps you more glowy all day. And last but not least, obviously we're going to use Tatcha. It goes without saying how much I love my Tatcha. I go in with a very generous amount of this. If you were to buy one thing to prep your skin with, it would definitely be the Tatcha. But I know it's quite expensive, so if you want an alternative, the Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cream is also really good. And last but not least, don't forget your SPF. This is the ultraviolet one. This is one of few SPFs that don't peel all over your skin. My pet hate when you've got a flawless base, you walk out the house and 20 minutes later your skin's just peeling off. Why do they even still release SPFs like that? Like, I don't want my face to look like someone's foot when they've just been walking on the beach in the sand. Now that we're looking like a grease ball, we're going to let that marinate whilst we move on to brows. This is the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Pen. You can see it's got like a really fine point to it. I use the shade Ash Brown. I find that when you use lighter shades, unfortunately, they just go quite like orangey. And it's good for my girlies with the warmer tone hairs, but girl, I got blonde. I don't want that warm tone brown. And some of them are like purple. Isn't that cute, girl? And I just brush in all the same directions as my natural brow hairs, but really lightly, just filling in any gaps. When I first started using this brow felt, I felt like it wasn't even doing anything because the hair strokes are so fine. But I think it's pretty safe to say that it definitely does work. You have to be really light-handed with it because if you go too heavy, then the pigment just makes your eyebrows look really like ha. I just follow all the natural hair strokes right the way down the tail of my brow. And I don't put any product at the front of my eyebrows. I just find that when you fill in the front of your eyebrows, it just makes you look a little bit scary. Don't do it, girl. To carve the brows, I like to use a runnier form of consistency. So this is the Kosas Concealer in the shade 01N. Pop that down on a surface. And for brushes, I'm going to try and use brushes from the same collection. This is the Morphe brush collection. I'm going to take the flat concealer brush. This is the Morphe M134 brush. Warm the concealer up in the brush. And now we're going to carve out the brows. It's going to be really hard for me to speak whilst I'm doing this, so I'm really sorry in advance. But I'm just basically going to take the concealer along the whole bottom of my eyebrow, keeping it tight to where those natural hairs begin. Just brushing that out towards my temple, just like that. Then with the excess on the brush, I just pat it all over my eyelid. I want to take it quite far down, anywhere where I'm going to buff my eyeshadow out. And with the excess on my brush, I just go in and carve out the front of the brow. I like to do the front part with the excess because I don't want that front part to be as opaque as the back. Makes it all look a little bit smoother. Show you then the same on the other eyebrow. So I just follow the natural shape out to the tail, patting all the excess over the lid. If the excess isn't enough to cover the lid, you can just go back, coat your brush again, and then keep going over. Again, join that brow up to the front. Now with a wet beauty sponge, don't you come here with your dry ass beauty sponges. I want to see wet ones. Buff out all of that concealer that you put over the eyelid. It's going to make it so much smoother and more seamless when your eyeshadow goes on. Then with the excess, then I just take that up in between my eyebrows. We're not in 2016, we don't need to leave the brow lines. Next step is eyeshadow. I'm going to be taking this Makeup by Mario eyeshadow palette with a nice big fluffy brush. This is the Morphe M2821. I just like to take a nice nude shade and just pack that all over the eyelid to set down all of that concealer. Get it all in that inner corner, up to the brow arch, all the way out. Call me a sinner, but I love using tape for my eyeshadow, and there's method to my madness. So with the tape placement, can you see like where my eye just starts going up by there, like on the bottom one, that little line? I just follow that line up and outwards with the tape. Make sure that they're even. With a bigger fluffy brush, this is the Morphe M331 brush, take a deeper shade and fluff that from the outer corner and then up into my crease. Take it like any further than the halfway point on your eyelid. When you get loads of product dusted around here, it just makes your eyelid look really like ugh. Don't even come for me with my makeup sound effects, but I know that you know that I know that you know that you know what I mean. Fluffy brush, no product, really really lightly just blend that back over the eyelid. It's gonna help keep it really nice and seamless. With a smaller brush then, this is the Morphe M383 brush. Gonna tap into this darker brown, tap that along the line of the tape. You don't want to take it too far up the tape, you literally just want to keep it like ever so slightly on the tape, then join it into the lash line like halfway across your eye. And you don't know it yet, but this is going to create the most buffed out gorge eyeliner you have ever seen. And it's not even eyeliner, girl, it's all lies. But you let men lie to you, so let makeup lie to you as well, okay? Fluffy brush again, back into that transition shade, just buffing out that wing. You just want to make it look nice and smooth. Always watching Wazowski. Small brush again in the black shade. Be really careful with this. Make sure the tape is fully stuck down. Go along only on the line of the tape. Just gonna get that little bit more sharpness in and tie it in slightly with your lash line. Be so careful. You're gonna be so careful. Okay, this isn't a step where you put it on, girl. This is a step where you are careful. Back with the concealer brush. God, there's so many steps. I didn't realize how many steps there were to my eyeshadow. Oh my God, I'm getting tired. Dab that over the eyelid. Brighten those inner corners. So this is like illegal in the makeup world, but I just tap that out then with my finger. Blam, 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 blam. Clean off the medium brush on a cotton pad. Get this light shade here. Really pack it down and just tap that over the front part of the eye. Just gonna make your eye look so much more like awake. I'm actually obsessed with doing this. Like, I think that this at the moment is my favorite sort of stencil to an eye look. If you want it to look a little bit more like dramatic for nighttime, then like you can just like make it darker. Are you ready for this reveal? Like, that is just the most perfect seamless eye makeup ever. Like, you can't even tell me otherwise. Makeup routine over. Now you're gonna take your favorite mascara. If I want a more dramatic look, I'll go for the Maybelline Colossal Bubble, but if I want a softer look, I'll go for the Rimmel Thrill Secret Extreme mascara in the shade Cappuccino. Ballerina Cappuccino. Me. That right at the front of my eyes. We're gonna put some cluster lashes on the outer edges of the eyes to just shazam them up. So you just want this to be at the front part to make those clusters really blend into your natural lashes. And just a little bit of mascara like on the outside just so that they blend just like that. This is where the magic happens. In a cluster lash, these are the eyeliner like mixed brown ones. They go under your eyelash, so you want to glue it like on this little part here so that you can put it underneath. Does that make sense? If you want to curl your lashes, then this is the part where you can. My lashes are already like quite curly, so I don't bother. If you do have really straight lashes, then definitely curl them because it makes the clusters look so much better when you curl. By the way, I just used the normal eyeliner lash glue. Leave it dry down just as much as you would let a strip lash dry down. Starting off in the outer corner with a 12mm, getting it right close to my lash line, pushing it up to really merge it in with those lashes and make sure it's stuck. Followed by a 10mm and another 10mm, and rounding that off with an 8mm. With the lash applicator just like that, I like to just push up on those lashes to really merge them into the natural eyelashes. The difference that makes, they look so natural, you can't see any lash band, but they just look so much better. I just did all those same steps then on my other eye. If I want more of a daytime glam, then I will go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter now. I'm going to show full glam in this, but let me know if you want me to do a full video on day-to-day glam. So for my full glam, I actually go in first with bronzer. This is the Maybelline Lifter bronzer stick in the shade 65 with a really dense angle brush like this. It doesn't really matter if it's not angled, but you just want it to be like dense. This is the Morphe 242 brush. I paint onto the bronzer stick, and then I go in and just paint onto my cheekbones. See where like the angle of your ear is here? You want your bronzer to stay above that line. Like if I was to draw a line down by here, that's where I want to keep the bronzer, just above that line. The main mistake I see people making with their bronzer is that they just take it like all over here, and I'm like, no girl, okay. I buff that back into my hairline and down into my temple ever so slightly, just like taking the tip, like the apex of that brush, and just like buffing that into the edge of the eyeshadow. I think keeping the placement really specific to where you want it to be is the main part that's going to give you that like flawless snatched look. You control the product, don't let the product control you. And in that controlling relationship, you dump that man. I know you want to control that product. Also, I just realized I just went in with bronzer first. I will explain to you why I don't go in foundation first when I get to that step. Onto concealers, I like to use two, the NARS Radiant Longwear Concealer and the Hourglass Concealer. First, I'm going to lay down my NARS one. This is in the shade Light Vanilla. I just pop that right up in that inner corner. Dip it in again. A little line just to brighten up towards my temple. Centre of my forehead, down the nose, up above here, because I get like quite a little bit of redness under my nose. I was ill a lot when I was younger, and I just think where I've like blown my nose loads over the years with the tissue, it's like made my nose really red. Ew. Then moving on to the Hourglass Concealer, I have this one in a little bit of a darker shade. This is in the shade Cotton Vanish. So I would say that this one is actually my skin tone, and I just use this to go over my cheeks, getting all that redness away, because you're making me blush, girl. Making me blush, you look so pretty. I just spot conceal any like spots or blemishes that I have in any places that I don't want to brighten. Get them away. If I have any really bad spots as well, like active breakouts, I will go in with a NARS Pot Concealer and just like go over them, like right at the very start after I've done my skincare. I'll just like dab over them a little bit like what Michaela does. Wet beauty sponge. Spray it with a little bit of setting spray. This is going to make your makeup last so much longer. This is the Emka Beauty one. It's like a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter one, but it's like literally so good. And I just really lightly dab. Don't drag it, or I will drag you. Dab it, okay? I want what's best for you. Please just stop dragging it. Honestly, just dab, okay? I know it takes longer. Just get up like 5 minutes earlier. It's going to look so much better, right? All of those blemishes and everything are so much more covered up. But I go over the NARS concealer, aka the lighter concealer, first. Otherwise, your beauty sponge is just going to be contaminated with the darker shade of concealer, and you're not going to be able to brighten where you want to brighten because there's going to be darker product on your beauty sponge. Getting into those under eyes. Try not to go too far up into your inner corner, but you do really want to cover that inner corner area. Down the side of my nose. And I don't go like all the way across under my eyes. Like, do you know how these girls are like drawing like literal triangles? Like, we're not in school. It's not sin, cos, tan. It's not trigonometry. You don't need to draw triangles. Like, please stop. Just stop. Just literally keep it in that little place. Then blend it out up here. Really press up into the line that you created with the tape. Same again on the other side, just keeping it really local to that inner corner under eye area, down the nose, and blending up the side by here. And then brighten out towards my temple, because it just gives you that like lifted and snatched look. Now we go in and blend that darker concealer. So I am a really smiley person, unapologetically. It's free to smile. So I won't put any product in my smile lines, because otherwise it creases so badly. But if there's no product in your smile lines, then it can't crease. Literally smile when I blend to make sure that I'm not going anywhere near my smile lines. Kind of buff that into the bronzer, and then blending out any other little like blemishes that we have. It already looks like we've got a full coverage base, full coverage like foundation kind of vibe, but we don't. Now we move on to blusher. This is the Rare Beauty blusher in the shade Happy. I'm gonna take that on the back of my hand. Really pigmented, like a little bit goes a long way. I'm Selena Gomez, she only delivers. Buff that out on the back of my hand, and you basically, with your application, can you see where the light is hitting my cheekbone? Like, I just want to keep it like a little bit further back by here, but just above my bronzer, and just really lightly take that up to the temple and then down towards the apple of my cheeks. And that is what's gonna give you, I forgot to tell you what brush I was using. This is the Morphe 202 brush. It's a little bit fluffier than the one that we used for the bronzer, but I kind of like a fluffy brush for my blusher because it just makes it look a little bit more softer and airbrushed, right like that. Picking up then more of the back of my hand, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. So again, keeping the product right at the back of the cheek up into the apex, and then bringing it down to the apple of the cheek. If you just go in straight away at the apple of your cheek, it's going to look like you've just like been dragged through a bush or something. It's just gonna look really bad. Okay, there's gonna be too much blush on the apple of your cheek and you're just gonna look bad. Okay, go in really lightly with my beauty sponge and just soften over all of that. Now for the last step is foundation. This is the House Labs one. This is in the shade light medium. However, this is too dark for me. One pump, just one pump. You don't even need one pump. Like, you could literally do half a pump, but just one pump on the sponge, work it in before you even think about putting it on your face. Okay, when you've evenly coated the sponge, go in really lightly anywhere that you haven't got any product, just to give that nice fuller coverage effect. Don't forget to do your ears, go down your neck. I don't want to see you having like this chin strap of orange foundation. It's not cute, girl. I literally do this when I blend because I just think it makes it look so much better. And again, just avoiding those smile lines, going up and around them instead of in them. Obviously we put the bronzer around here, we put the concealer here, so I like to just do a little ring just to really bring those two together, lightly over my nose. And again, emphasis, don't put it in your smile lines. Just smile, bring those cheeks up and just go around them. To make sure we have no product anywhere that we're going to crease. I crease really badly under my eyes as well. I just take the other end of my beauty sponge, pinch it, there's no product on this, and I just go over that little bit to remove any excess product that may have slipped in there. And I do the same then down my smile lines. If you do it this way, your makeup will not crease all day. My makeup literally used to crease awfully when I would put foundation on first, and it literally doesn't crease at all now that I do my makeup like this. Now I need to set this base in place, so I use an array of many different powders. Firstly, a pressed powder. This is the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush one. You need clean powder puffs for clean makeup, okay? I'm not even gonna tell you twice. I start off with a mini one. I just pop that in the center of the pan a few times, dab it off on my hand. Don't put it like by here because there's product by here from earlier, unless you want to go and wipe it off. Dab it on my hand just to make sure it's evenly coated. And then I go down like my nose first and then up into my under eye. Redip and then just do the same on the other eye. I like to go in first with a pressed powder because I find that it really just warms the concealer and everything up before you go in with any form of loose powder. And I'll go under my nose, on my chin, and basically just all over my T-zone. On to the next powder then. This is the one size one. I know that all of these powders are quite spenny. A really good dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury one is the Maybelline Fit Me, and then a really good dupe for this one size pink one would be the NYX Wonder Snatch one. Picking up that product again on the same mini powder puff, dabbing it off on the back of my hand, and just going over anywhere that I put the blush. I find that this just really helps keep the pigment of that blush in place. You just want to blend that up into that under eye powder. I find that using a pink powder to set the blush just really helps to buff it in. On to the next powder. This is the Jordana T-shirt one in the shade Parma Lilac. I just take the very tip of this powder puff and press it in there, and dabbing it off a little bit, and I just take it right up into my inner corner. And you see how much that just brightens the inner corner of your eye. It just makes you look so much more awake. This is one of my favourite steps. It's so subtle but so effective. Swapping powders again to the Huda Pound Cake. Now also taking a bigger powder puff. I get quite a lot of product on here. We're going to go in and set the rest of our face. So I'll just carve out all of that bronzer and set down here. It just really cleans up, and then with the excess then I actually go over it, and you see just how much more like buffed out and gorgeous that looks. And I know that we're really making everything quite matte here, but I promise you it will all come back to life when we do the setting spray. Now to set my smile lines, I'll smile like this, and I just go down them really slightly, like barely even touching them, because you don't really want to get like any product in there. And then again, I just go over my cheeks like this. The less product you have in there, the better. And then I just go all over my forehead. Make sure you set quite close to your eyebrows as well, because the last thing that you want is like this shiny little patch above your eyebrows. It just doesn't look good. Once I set my whole face with powder, I do find it makes me look a little bit flat. So we are going to go in with a little bit of powder bronzer. This is the NYX Cosmetics Buttermelt Bronzer in the shade Butter Biscuit. I'm taking this nice fluffy angled Morphe brush. It's the M201. Starting right at the back of my cheekbone, going in nice circular motions, bringing that forward towards my cheek. And then really big sweep motions, just going up and then slightly down so that you don't have that like harsh line. I just like to buff over that harsh line then. And I'll show you again on this side. So a little bit of a circular motion by here, making sure you keep it above that ear line, and then sweeping motions down to the cheek. I'm being really light with my brush. The lighter you are with the brush, the more airbrushed it's gonna look. And then just sweeping motions up towards the temple, and then breaking up that line a little bit then, because you don't want it to look too harsh. With the excess then I just go over my nose, and taking a little bit more then just to go on my forehead. Like a little bit of forehead bronzer. I think it really just brings all of the depth and dimension back into your face. Because we obviously used a nice baby pink blusher earlier, I'm going to take this nice baby pink YSL blusher. This is in the shade Make Me Blush. And again, a little bit tapping off the excess on the back of my hand, because this is really pigmented. Really like sweep emotions on one side, and then I go to the other, and I just kind of like split that placement up between the both sides, because it's so pigmented, like you really don't need much. And I like to set my liquid blusher with a similar shade. So obviously I've used 2 baby pink blushes, and to make it look nice and cohesive then I just tap the excess all over the rest of my face, because when you add blush and you have blush blindness like I do, I find that tapping it over the rest of the face just breaks it up a little bit. On to setting sprays, do not sleep on this. It is insane. It's like glass skin in a bottle. Let me show you. So I literally just do a couple of spritzes just down my face, all right, and then leave it completely dry down. You can already see like that has just added all of the life back into my skin. Now this is where you can really customize your finish. If you want a more satin finish, I would go for the Emco one or the Charlotte Tilbury one. If you like a dewier finish, then I go in with this Milk Makeup one. If you're more of an oily girl like me, you can go in with a matte one. This is the Milk set, called the Paulas Eclipse one. You can't really see it on here because it's like written on a dark bottle. So I just spray this all over my face, and then when that one's completely dried down, if you are going on a night out where you want your makeup to stay on all day, you need to go in with an industrial setting spray. I like to use the One Size one, or alternatively day to day you can use the L'Oreal Infallible one. It's basically like hairspray for your face and makeup. Just makes everything last so much longer. I'll just give it a good shake and then do like a once over. That's enough. I'm taking this nude shade and just tying in that under eye. It's more of an optional step, but I find it just really helps to bring all of that eye makeup together. And again, if you want to bring the drama, I take an angled brush and just get some black waterliner. And I just pop that in my waterliner. I think that just ties the whole look together. And last but not least, we have got the lip combo. So I tend to change up like what lipsticks and lip glosses I use, but I will 10 times out of 10 be using Rimmel Cappuccino. It's just my go-to lip liner. I don't know what they put in it, okay, but I just love it. But I actually love to round off my Cupid's bow. I think it gives you like this Brat Style effect. So I'll like go like this on my lip, and then it's gonna be really hard to speak to you while I do this, so sorry in advance. I go like that, and then I just round off my Cupid's bow. So like the 2 points of my lips are here. I just kind of like join them together in a little arch. That's the only part of my lips I overline. I don't overline anywhere else. So I just join that then down the natural line of my lips into the corners. I find that doing it like this just gives you that like rounded off effect. I was a Brat Style girly and I want Brat Style lips. And with my bottom lip then, I slightly overline the bottom bit. I like to bring the attention to like the center of my lips, and then I do the same as the top ones, and I just follow the natural line back to that natural corner. Then really lightly just taking like the side of the lip liner pen, I just really buff that in to my natural lip shade. Now, I don't have lip filler or anything. I struggle a little bit in the lip department. I don't really want lip filler, it scares me. So I do like to use a plumping lip oil. This is the L'Oreal Plump Ambition lip oil in the shade 101 Crystal Clear. And I just go all, oh my God, I just got it in my mouth. I go all over my lips with that, taking it right up to the edge of the lip liner. But you don't want to go over the lip liner because obviously like it's just going to mess up your lips. I just sorted out my hair and everything, and this is the finished glam. I hope you all enjoyed this makeup tutorial, and let me know in the comments what you would like me to do next. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Love you all, bye!